first of all, I love what C.J. Stroud said about Lamar because you always talk to me, because you spent some time with the Ravens, you always talk to me how he's an underrated passer.
He is.
Right?
He is.
I love that he said that.
And honestly, I thought that really showed today in the sense of, yes, it was windy and he didn't have big numbers, but what he's had all year is his best year throwing the ball.
Right.
And all of a sudden, when you've got that, it kind of opened up the run game for him. And there's numerous times where you're sitting there and you're thinking, how come, Houston's not putting a spy or somebody that's really staying down to make sure we can contain Lamar? Mm-hmm. Well, the biggest issue there is that because he's had this big year throwing the football, new offensive coordinator, because he's been able to utilize a variety of weapons, Flowers, Isaiah Likely after Andrews, Bateman, OBJ, Aguilar scored a TD today. You can't really play that style of football against him. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden it's like, hey, if you want to, prevent us from throwing the ball down the field, getting these explosives, don't get it twisted. I'm still Lamar, and he showed us that tonight. I mean, again, when he had the ball in his hands, it was electric. You're just waiting for him to make guys look silly out there.
And yet, it really took the Ravens until the second half to get going. What really changed in your mind?
Okay, and this kind of goes back to last week. Mm-hmm. Jay, we talked about last week the Cowboys and being like, hey, veteran team, we got a shot here. To me, this is the prime example of a team that is a veteran team that understands the moment. They get burned in the first half. They got the punt return. It's 10-10. They clearly went in the halftime and said, we got to stop messing around. We are the 1 seed. This is our home field. We were playing, yes, a good Texans team, but a team that we are better than.
Yeah.
Let's take advantage. We understand the moment and what happened. They came out on defense, absolutely shut this offense down. I think they had like 58 total yards in the second half while they were trailing. And offensively, it was incredible the physicality they played with. Ran the ball down their throat, and it just was like run after run. You saw Gus Edwards, you saw Hill, you saw Lamar, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, Lamar needed to make a throw. He made it, and I just respected it because to me, yes, Lamar was obviously incredible, ran for 100, threw for 150, ran 2 in, threw 2 in, but the whole offense came out with that bully mentality, especially in that second half, and made an absolute statement that I think every team that's currently left will take note of.
And you said it for Houston. You and I talked about it last week. Houston winning last week was their Super Bowl, right? And so they get here. So to me, whatever, this loss. Like C.J. Stroud, presumably Rookie of the Year. I don't see how he doesn't win it.
That would be shocking.
Puka Nacua, I'm sorry, but C.J. is probably going to win this thing. But what should the expectation be for DeMeco Ryans' team next season?
To me, Jay, they got to consider themselves a top 10 football team, if not better. I mean, you've got a quarterback that's stats show like he's a top 10 guy, and if he keeps developing, could be a top 5 guy in year 2. Wasn't his greatest performance today, but this team won 3 games last year.
Yeah, it's
3.
Unreal.
They won the division and then beat the #1 defense. Again, I'm not sure if their offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, will be back. I would be surprised if he doesn't get a head coaching job. But what I like to see today was the fight of this team. They're clearly outgunned by what I think right now is probably the favorite to win the Super Bowl. As far as consistency, they have a great defense. They have a lot of weapons on offense. And they came out here and they found a way to keep it close for a large part of this game. Again, I thought that they got worn down in the fourth. But if you're a Texans fan right now, you got to be thrilled. Because if you have a year like this in year 3 or 4, you're happy, let alone year 1 of this kid.
Think of the disaster, the front office, the pastor, the guy involved, all that, and you just bring in DeMeco, and it's like, here's our new culture.
Winning cures everything.
Here's our new culture. This is our guy, and we're building around him. It's great. Good for them.